business owners in the event industry, I think you can all attest to how wonderful this industry is, but also how challenging. And the challenges just seem to get bigger every year. So if you think about it, our costs are going up. The expectations of our clients are going up. And unfortunately, for many, their budgets are going down. So how do we win in this industry? As business owners, for ourselves and our employees, but then also for our clients. How do we continue to deliver better and better service given the constraints and challenges we face? So today we're going to talk a lot about how can we drive more profit in this business. And for us, this shouldn't come at a sacrifice of our clients and the service and the events that we host for them. So as we look at it, there are different ways that we can do this. The first is we can expand the offerings that we provide to our clients. So if you think, if you're a venue owner, you have a beautiful space. I'm standing in one today. We could just rent that and do a wonderful job with our space, make sure it's in pristine condition, or we could offer them more. We could look and see, can we offer them beverage services? Are we qualified to provide that to them? Can we offer some goods and decor to enhance their events and simplify their service? Cut out some of the rental vendors, the coordination that they have to provide. Can we offer planning services? Is our team trained and capable to do that? How else can we enhance their service and their experience while also increasing our revenue and therefore our profit? And the other thing we can look at is how do we expand beyond weddings? Weddings are wonderful. They book out further in advance. They typically have bigger budgets, but we know we're not going to get a robust amount of events potentially of weddings on a Monday. So what other services events can we look at? And so we can fill our Monday through Thursday as well as some of the days that haven't booked out for a wedding. For example, a Sunday in Denver is not in January. It might not be the prime date for a wedding, but we could fill it in with a celebration of life. How do we expand our SEO, our marketing efforts, the packages we offer to better capture those potential clients? And then we're going to dive more deeply into efficiency. So how do we think about the processes and experience from our back of house to deliver better services and events for our clients? So when we think about process, it's really important first to think about the experience from the client's perspective. I always encourage to take a step back and walk a day in the shoes of your client. If they get an email, how are they going to read it? Are they going to understand it? Do we have industry jargon in there? Is it clear? Is their action what we need for them popping out and very clear for them? Think about every touch point and every requirement we have from the consumer's perspective, from our client's perspective. Once we've figured out how we want that experience to go, we've got to dive in and document it. So how do we think about checklists, standard operating principles and procedures? How do we think about all those pieces and really crystallize what our process looks like? And then the next piece is thinking about technology. How do we make it easier for ourselves, our clients, and our teams to execute on these processes? So what software is out there that can complement what we're looking for? So thinking about a CRM system, so we can automate some of the emails that go out in the sales cycle as well as in the planning cycle for our clients. What about a work management platform? For us, we utilize Asana. Asana houses all of the to-dos and tasks that we have to do. We've been able to build out workflows. If we have a full-service planning client versus a corporate client, what are the steps that have to happen and when do they have to happen and by who? All of that is kind of pre-established. So it takes the load off of our team and it automates our process. You can think about a scheduling platform as well as a billing platform so that you are removed from a lot of the to-dos in the day-to-day and if you process and operate more smoothly. And then the next piece is empowering your team. As an owner, you probably feel that you have your hand in pretty much everything that you're doing. How do you make sure you set your team up for success? They know exactly what they need to do, how they need to do it, and when they need to do it, and so that they can truly focus on the service to their client and making sure that that is exceeding their expectation. So a key piece, which we'll talk about next, is making sure everybody actually knows what their job is. A lot of time there's confusion and a lot more work because there's gray areas as to who's supposed to do what and when. And the last piece is, how do you look at your process after you've put it in place and refine it? It's one thing to say, yep, here's our process, it's good, I never have to touch it. But you should get feedback. Get feedback from your team, get feedback from your clients, get feedback from your vendors, so that they can give you their experience. Was there anything that wasn't clear, that it was clunky, didn't flow as well as it could? And then you can refine, potentially retrain the team, and roll that out. When we talk about empowering the team, a key piece to that is, what is their accountability? And does everybody actually know what they're supposed to be doing? In most companies and businesses, they might have an org chart. The org chart says who's who, what's their title, and who do they report to. But it doesn't provide clarity as to who owns what. So you might think you own X, Y, and Z, but your colleague might say that they actually own one of those pieces. So crystallizing that, being very clear as to who owns what, and making sure everybody on the team knows that is absolutely critical for processes to run smoothly and effectively. So building this accountability chart is always the foundation in improving your team's efficiency and effectiveness, because everybody's gonna know what they own and what they need to do to be successful, which ultimately will provide a better experience for our clients, and the events will run more smoothly. So I want to walk you through a couple case studies of our venues and what we did as we think about kind of how we drove greater revenue and profitability for the venues. So the first one here is 1410. Beautiful venue located outside of Nashville. It was always a solid venue, but when we looked at it and said, how do we expand our revenue potential? How do we expand the number of events we're hosting and what our services we provide? So we were able to really dig in, almost double our revenue from our planning services, improve the process of the selling, how we sold it, what the packages entailed. We expanded the number of packages and really delivered a better service for our clients. And then the other piece was looking at the venue and what were the items that clients were consistently bringing in from other rental providers, and saying, well, what could we offer ourselves? What would make sense for our clients? We can offer at a better price. We can streamline so they don't have to coordinate with another vendor. It will be set up in place. How do we make the experience better for them? So we invested in about $10,000 from a cost standpoint for some goods and decor, pipe and drape being a key one, and we're able to generate over $200,000 over 2 years. So I think anyone would say that would make a lot of business sense to do, not only from our standpoint, where we were more effective in delivering, our revenue and profitability, but also then for our clients. They loved it. They got a better deal than if they dealt with another outside vendor. And then we're also pursuing our liquor license. So currently we're a BYOB venue and want to convert over to liquor license. If we're able to do that with a nominal investment, we're able to generate another $250,000 a year in revenue. So another good kind of solid investment from our time and cost to generate more revenue and also profit for the venue. And then a different venue. So this venue, beautiful venue again, but wasn't quite winning. So this venue, the team used to kind of say they felt a bit like the black sheep in the portfolio. They didn't feel that they were successful, and the numbers were not successful. It wasn't a profitable venue. What we did is looked at the competitive landscape and said, what can we do to change our packages and pricing to better meet the market needs? We adjusted those, shifted some key things, and then also started targeting events beyond weddings. So we were able to almost increase 100% the number of events outside of weddings by looking at our marketing, our SEO, our paid digital, to really drive more leads and then win in the space based on our new packages and pricing. So we've turned kind of the black sheep into a very solid venue that's now profitable for the portfolio. So now you're probably wondering, okay, where do I start? If you want to start first with process, where I suggest you go is first with that accountability chart. Really crystallize who does what on your team and make sure everyone understands it, and then you work through any questions that they have. You eliminate that gray so everybody knows what they're accountable for. And then talk through, what are the biggest pain points? Where are you guys spinning? Where as a team are you spending the most time, the most emails going back and forth? Where is the most conflict or potential issue from a client experience? If you asked your clients what's the clunkiest part of the whole portion of their planning, what would they say? And prioritize then those kind of biggest pain points and tackle one at a time. If you try to boil the ocean, you will end up with nothing. So really focus on one process at a time, roll it out, make sure it works, refine it, and then go on to the next. The bigger you start, the more ineffective you'll be. So start with one and get it right, and you'll get in the flow of how to build process and also have your team embrace process, because that is a transition as well. And then in closing, just a little bit more about who 828 is. So we own and operate our own venues, but then also manage venues for others. So if you're a venue owner, you want to take a step back, you want to retire, you want to pursue other endeavors, we can come in and manage the entire venue on your behalf. You're a main venue owner, and we partner very similar to if you own a second home and want to rent it out, you have a property manager. We can do everything from the finance, the marketing, the sales, and event execution. So our philosophy and our approach is very value-based and also data and market-based. We come in, we want to understand the market, we want to understand what makes your venue unique and how we can win and differentiate in the marketplace. We focus on process to drive efficiency and effectiveness, never wanting to drive profit at the expense of a client experience. And then our focus is developing strong teams, empowering them to really deliver the needs of our clients and their events. And then lastly, really partnering with you as owner, providing direct and honest communication, and really building that trust so that way we can build your venue in the most effective way possible. I'll be available for questions after. You also have my contact information up here if you want to reach out after. But I greatly appreciate your time today, and hopefully you found